Around 15% of people, aged people, suffer from serious psychological deficiency or areas including loneliness, depression. 70% of those who are lonely can go into depression. Those are some of the global figures coming up. Is it that there are special needs for the elderly? Or the most of the needs are the human needs of being cared for, being valued, feeling secure, having something important to do in life so that you're feeling validated, related to, relating to others? Are those not needs of every one of us sitting in this room? It is not that the needs of the elderly change. It is the society is unable to meet all of them after a certain time. The onus lies on us, each one of us, as individuals, as families, as communities, and then as nations, to fulfill those needs because we are obligated to do that. So unless we realize that there's an obligation on all of us to do it, that we have accountability to fulfill the needs the way we fulfill for our children, for our adolescents, or the area similarly for the elderly. Some part of the psychological problems of the elderly are self-made. Some are because of social construct. Some start because of medical issues. How do you give symbols for the elderly that you care for them? Maybe that's to do with their interest rates of the banks, concessional fares or so, or along with an attendant, which we do that. So multiple areas, policy matters would come in. Care of the elderly, abuse of the elderly is rampant, sir. Just because we do not talk about it, we don't think that this abuse is not there. It's not only sexual abuse, it's also physical abuse, emotional abuse, ma'am. Abuse can be of many kinds. It exists, it persists. So we'll have to tackle that also, starting from the policy front. So the first thing is to recognize that there is a need for policy changes in multiple areas, starting from finance to security. The number of geriatricians in India is pathetic. So again, it comes to policy issue. So one of the policy matters would also come up for these geriatric care. If not all elderly can afford an attendant, many can. And you don't have trained attendants. There's a huge need, but there is a huge supply gap. So we bring them together under the skill India. Loneliness is again a personal social construct. I feel lonely, so thus I am lonely. Even if I have 10 people around me, because I'm unable to relate, I do not smile. So loneliness is a personal social construct. And one of the best ways of managing is, how do you prepare for your elderly days when you are a little younger or in mid-50s or earlier? It's not necessarily that you start preparing for your days of the elderly the day you retire and after that. It has to start 15, 20 years ago. But certain factors which either make people lonely and then towards depression, or bring them up and lead normal, happy, active lives, even whichever age they are isolation, rejection, aggression, and negative thoughts. Being spiritual is a very important part of all aspects of life. Religion is your choice. Spirituality tells us it's not your choice. It is a defining feature of humanity. A lot can be done for the psychological care of the elderly by we ourselves to prepare. But there are certain conditions which need to be dealt with the society. The onus is on the society. Or a person cannot stop from becoming a widower, or children going abroad and you're left alone. So social construct. The small family norm has hurt people 30 years later. We didn't realize when we were talking about small family norm earlier. Today you realize that people are just left with no one. So what has happened is they have been churning in the society, and to find out simplistic answers would be hurtful. There are no simplistic answers to this problem here. But to say there are no answers would itself also be very negative to say. So we got to put our heads together and find out